Facebook leads the industry in stopping bad actors online. That's because they've invested $13 billion in teams and technology to enhance safety over the last 5 years. It's working. In just the past few months, they've taken down 1.7 billion fake accounts to stop bad actors from doing harm. But working to reduce harmful and illicit content on their platforms is never done. Learn more about how they're helping people connect and share safely at about.fb.com/safety.
Hello and welcome to Were You Not Entertained? I'm Daniel.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm James.
And we are going to be doing a holiday episode, doing a Christmas movie. So we're going to be talking about Fred Claus, which is, it's an older movie, 2007.
14-year-old movie at this point.
Yeah.
But it is a hidden gem.
I don't think it got enough people talking about it.
I think that you're right. I think this was really good, actually.
Yeah.
There were a lot of things to like here. There were still things that were cheesy, and there were still things that were kind of dumb, but it's a Christmas movie, and it kind of falls in line in the right places for that. And the other things I think it does really well, and the things it doesn't do well are hilarious. Overall, I just had a really good time. Sometimes with the movie, sometimes at the movie's expense, but either way, I enjoyed it.
I laughed a lot more than I thought I would.
Yeah. I honestly can't remember if I've seen Fred Claus prior to this recent showing, but wow.
I don't know how you could have forgotten.
Holy crap. It was actually way better than I expected.
I will have nightmares of the sausage fingers for weeks.
Oh man, those things were crazy.
Yeah. But it was actually fun, and it was funny without just being horribly cringy through the entirety.
Or obnoxious. It wasn't really obnoxious humor either, which is good.
No, it had its moments, and it definitely had a decent helping of Vince Vaughn's specific type of comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it somehow really worked in a holiday film like this, and they made it where it is appropriate for kids, but it doesn't feel like a little kid's movie. Like even the jokes and everything, there's a certain thing about them that doesn't feel like children's humor.
Yeah, I think that's kind of something Vince Vaughn's really good at doing, and it was evident in his relationship with Slam in the movie. It can still be age appropriate, but he doesn't talk down to the kids.
Right.
Yeah, and it didn't. I find with
It wasn't full of sex jokes.
well, and it wasn't full of like fart jokes or these other sort of jokes that you tend to always see in what's considered a kids movie.
Right.
Even with a Christmas movie, there wasn't a lot of that. I found it to just be a lot funnier that way. It didn't have as much of that silly humor. It was silly, but it just didn't feel as ridiculous.
It was very Vince Vaughn of the time.
It was also shockingly Paul Giamatti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a huge part of the feel of this movie.
Yeah.
And I think I would have hated it without him.
I was to say, I don't think Vince Vaughn carried the entire movie.
But he did set the comedy style.
Yeah, he absolutely did.
You're right on that.
But no, yeah, without Paul Giamatti, it just, well, it would kind of lack the heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is important, especially in a Christmas movie, because that's what you need. But you also, some of the people kind of giving back to that as well would be like Rachel Weisz's character.
Oh, I loved her.
Or
She's
even
always so wonderful. She was great as Wanda.
yeah, she was. Or even like Elizabeth Banks and John Michael Higgins,
Mm-hmm.
and the kind of I don't even know what you call that, but the guy that wants the girl that doesn't know he exists kind of tension that they include in that. It doesn't like take over the entire story or drive the story really. It's just an underlying thing that is going on, and it helps build the friendship between Willie and Fred. And I think that was a kind of a good little touch. The little things that they have in there.
It was also really strange because it was very high school drama-y. And I think at one point Fred mentioned that he was, or not Fred, Willie mentioned that he was a couple 100 years old.
Yeah. Well, a couple 100 years old, trapped in the North Pole.
Maybe I misheard that part. I don't know, because I don't think Fred and
No, I think that's right.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Of years old, are they?
Yes.
Yes, they are.
Oh, they are? Both of them are?
They
Okay.
are.
Yeah,
that's them in the very beginning in that cabin.
Fair.
Yeah, so
that was up in the boondocks of Finland or something.
Yeah, so it's a very short line, but you basically hear that once Nick becomes Saint Nick, that it basically freezes their aging for them and their family members, and even like their significant other.
Because he fulfilled the prophecy or whatever.
Yeah, for whatever reason. It's movie writing. I don't think there's any real logic as to why.
They don't give you a reason, and I'm okay with that.
I'm trying to world build here, guys. Come on.
No, I really thought John Michael Higgins was an extra special part of this movie. And I don't know that it was him entirely or the way that they wrote elves in this film, because they don't feel petulant like they tend to in most movies. Like they don't either feel like very ancient children who are just whiny and uptight, or like they're mentally incompetent, for lack of a better term. But that's the sort of vibe you always get with elves.
Yeah, that is one thing that I really appreciated about this movie, is they managed to do it in such a competent and quality way that they could go all out with the childlike nature but ancient age of the elves, and the absolute saccharine sweetness of Saint Nick, and it still be believable and charming. I was always expecting for Santa Claus to act like an asshole at some point and like humanize him, because movies always have a need to like turn what are supposed to be icons and break them down to a more relatable area. And I as much as I appreciate that, it does take a lot away from something like Santa Claus. And they did his saintliness so beautifully. It was perfect. And
yeah, even when he got mad, it was a snowball fight. I mean, that's
yeah. I mean, he did try to run him over with a
well, yeah, okay, yeah, he
did.
He did do that.
But even when he is his overly sweet and taken advantage of self, you can still tell that he knows. He knows he's being taken advantage of, and he understands that he's making the conscious decision to keep being the good person. It doesn't feel like he's dumb or...
Yeah, he's too dumb to get it. It's just...
Which you sometimes get with overly sweet characters.
Right.
He's not being buffaloed. He fully understands that his brother's taking advantage of him all these years. He can't help but be wonderful. Yeah,
exactly.
And I liked that. I appreciated that about this movie a lot.
Even when his brother pegged him in the back of the head with an apple.
Yeah.
That was so mean.
That was so sad.
That was intense, man. Apple just boom.
And that he doesn't say anything. No, nothing happened. It's like, oh no. Okay, so now I see where the saint thing starts as a small child.
Right.
I mean, he did cut down his tree.
But not to be mean. He didn't understand that cutting it down was a bad thing. He just thought, now it's going to be in the house and we can be warm by the fire and still enjoy your tree.
I don't think that. Yeah, I don't disagree with that, but also, if you're planning on cutting down a tree, probably don't do it while somebody's sitting in it.
Probably. But he was a small child. He may not have made the connection.
He didn't get there. But yes, no, you are correct. And there's kind of quite a few situations in this movie that are like that, where he's basically gives them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, and even when you have the moments in this that are sort of silly and cringy, like when Fred basically turns the factory into a dance party.
Yeah. See, that's what I mean by like the benefit of the doubt. Like,
It's
that he
still-
wasn't trying to do that to disrupt Christmas.
Yeah, he was
Right.
just trying to make things lively, but it
He
didn't.
was just trying not to listen to "Here Comes Santa Claus" again.
And what a fun cameo to have Ludacris
I
as
know,
the
I love
DJ.
it. DJ
loved
Donnie.
DJ Johnny. I
It
enjoyed
was horrible. It looked like that like dead dancing baby on the like from the internet back in the early 2000s. It was
Like,
clearly
You talking
his
about on
face
like
placed
Ally
on the
McBeal?
body. Yeah.
Yeah, but
It's-
this is an older movie.
True. You're true, but it's part of the fun is enjoying how awful it is.
Yeah.
The nightmarish crowd of elves running back into the factory at the very end.
That was epic.
It was horrible. Like, oh my god, that was so clearly CG. I had like Polar Express flashbacks. It was awful.
You know, Polar Express is a cartoon, right?
Like hand drawn?
Well, I don't know if it's hand drawn or not, but like it's supposed to look like that. Using that as a reference for bad CGIs.
No, in Nightmare Fuel.
Oh, okay. Nightmare
Oh.
Fuel. I see.
Yeah.
There was a
And it
lot of
was the
Nightmare
bad
Fuel.
CGI that made it look so uncanny valley, not human. And yeah, no, I'm good forever.
Yeah, the way they just pour out of the tavern is a little unsettling.
Uh-huh.
I liked watching the little feet go.
Yeah, and the arms.
Up the stairs.
Yeah.
No, it was awful.
It was at like 2 times speed.
Yeah, it was a little intense, but overall, I had so much fun with this, and I almost didn't expect to. Like, I knew it would have its moments. I just expected it to be uncomfortable in parts, or like you had said earlier, obnoxious in bits. I was anticipating like a Four Christmases or Christmas with the Cranks, where bits of it are amazing, but bits of it are unwatchable. And no, I think this movie deserves a better fan score and a better Metacritic score than it got.
I think
What did it get?
I think it got like just over a
the-
5.
Yeah, the Metascore is a 42.
And fan scores just over 5?
IMDb is a 5.6.
Ooh. That's too low for this.
Yeah, I agree.
This is one of the better Christmas movies I've been forced to watch.
If we're like between 6 and 7, I'm like, okay, I'll bite that.
A 6.5. It feels like a solid 6.5. It's not quite good. It's not in the 7 range, but it is more than 50-50. Like, if somebody's like, you want to watch a Christmas movie? And I go Die Hard, and they go, it's not a Christmas movie. I go, okay, Fred Claus.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm with that.
I would honestly put this in my list of Christmas films that I enjoy watching on a regular basis. It's not The Grinch, but it's still really good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is
It's a very solid offering.
going on the list.
I think I like it more than The Grinch.
I don't know. That's tough.
One thing I was shocked about is the production quality in this. I was surprised. The town looked really good, especially for the age. The blending with practical, like the town square, I guess is the best thing to call it. It's kind of round, so it's not a square, but you know what I mean. In front of the factory.
Yeah.
It looked really good, and it was a good blending of CGI up into the top of the building. I'm assuming they didn't build it all the way up.
Right, I would assume not.
I really liked the way that they decided to do the way the sleigh flies. It felt more like he was driving a Ferrari than normal. Normally, it's always this weird awkwardness. This just seemed like it was just powerful. You said mush or whatever, and it was off.
Yeah, and they didn't spend a whole lot of time on the reindeer. Which was nice because I feel like that's where the CGI falls down pretty often.
Yeah.
Because it's very hard to animate a deer, much less a flying one. But I think that's part of why the moments that weren't as good in this really stand out more. Because parts of it were very, very well done. So when you get those little flashes like DJ Donnie or the elves running back, it is a little more startling.
Or even Willie. I mean, they did a decent job on Willie, but there were definitely some parts that you're like, oh, just pasted a guy's face on a dancing short person.
But even in big spoiler, when he kisses Elizabeth Banks at the end, that's not as bad as I thought the CGI would be, or the effects to make that look as realistic as it did.
Yeah.
So it definitely had its moments where you're like, wow, that was pretty good. And
it works sometimes.
Even when they picked up the snowballs, when they were just scooping little bits of snows and suddenly it was a great big snowball, it was just very fluid.
Yeah.
Yes.
It worked.
Facebook leads the industry in stopping bad actors online. That's because they've invested $13 billion in teams and technology to enhance safety over the last 5 years. It's working. In just the past few months, they've taken down 1.7 billion fake accounts to stop bad actors from doing harm. But working to reduce harmful and illicit content on their platforms is never done. Learn more about how they're helping people connect and share safely at about.fb.com/safety.
It's magic, they're in the North Pole. The snow knew what it was trying to do.
Yeah, and because they did this so seamlessly with movie effects, it really did look magic.
Yeah, it did. Yes, it did.
I was on board. I think the only part of this movie that was really cringe and was intentionally so was his mom.
Yeah, she was horrible.
She was awful.
I mean, Kathy Bates, good job, but your character, her character and then Kevin Spacey's character, Clyde, are both God, I hate y'all.
But he had redemption. Clyde had redemption. His mother didn't.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that was one of those that, in the same way, I think that a lot of Fred and his mother's personalities were similar as how stubborn they were.
Yeah.
And they were, neither one of them were going to change for the other one. There was just that kind of understanding at the end that I felt was a good satisfactory ending for the two's relationship.
He just accepted that his mom's an asshole.
He gave up. Yeah.
No, seriously, that's what happened. So that's how he became who he was because of his mom being like, I wish you were more like your brother.
Anytime a parent says, I wish you were more like a sibling, that's the origin story of a villain.
Right. It's a horrible thing to say.
There's no way that the non-perfect sibling comes out of that one unscathed.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. But yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. She just annoyed me.
Fair.
Just like
I
Kevin
think that was the
Spacey's
purpose.
character. Just like Clyde.
Yeah, just like Clyde. That was the purpose.
Shredding the... Who brings a shredder to the North Pole so he can shred letters?
Clyde. Although they don't ever explain that, and I'm okay with it, but who's trying to take down Santa Claus and why?
They don't explain it.
Why are they so
And I don't
happy?
think
He was
that they
trying to take down
can.
Santa Claus.
Well, right, but like
But who
he has
is
to be a
he?
representation of an organization. Right? They shut down the Easter Bunny.
Right.
Like, okay, so who? What?
Or is
I
it
mean, I just assumed it was like the holiday committee or something like that.
Or maybe
Right.
it's
holidays
just
or
him.
something.
Maybe he just has a personal vendetta at all these
No, I
different
think-
holidays.
I think that the holidays were trying. It's run like a corporation, and that's the joke, and that they were trying to cut costs, and he's the consultant, and he has a personal vendetta against Santa Claus because he didn't get his Superman cape.
Yeah.
And so he's leveraging his position in power to make sure that Santa Claus fails.
What'd the Easter Bunny do to him?
He's just irrelevant. It wasn't personal. That's just business.
Same with the Tooth Fairy, probably.
He was a
Same with
means
Tooth Fairy.
means to an end. It was the successful work there that got him up to the North Pole.
Yeah, I think, yeah. It must have been. Now that we've...
Now that I've started writing fan fiction,
Yeah,
we can
exactly.
think about the rest of this minutia.
Exactly.
But I will also say that for this movie and the time in which it came out, it had some jokes that I didn't expect. Like, especially Fred's line about you can't have manners without the man.
Oh,
And I just thought
Yeah.
that was so funny because at that time, I don't know, it wouldn't have been seen as like a manly thing to have polite table manners or something like that. So I got a real kick out of that specific line.
Yeah, and I did appreciate when he showed up in her apartment with the Santa Claus suit on. She was like, "Okay, this is restraining order time."
yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, "Thank God they said something because that is exactly where that is if this was real life."
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the fact that he's just like, oh, no, it's okay. I'm going to go sleep on the couch in our other room because I live here now.
Yeah.
That
he
was
just
really
walks
like,
off
what?
like,
What's
wait.
going on, bro?
Yes.
That offer was rescinded when she dumped you.
Yeah.
I did think that was funny how incredibly cool she was at the North Pole. Your brother's Santa Claus. We're moving on. Like,
Yeah. It's like, I
Okay.
figured that one out.
It's just been a lot of information really quickly. You just got to accept it and carry
Yeah.
on. It's pretty much what happened there.
absolutely.
I thought it was bullshit too, and then I got in the sleigh, and
And it flew.
my brain doesn't work.
Yeah, she was just on overload.
Something's wrong with me. What happened?
I'm having the weirdest dream right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did enjoy their sibling anonymous.
The Siblings Anonymous. Yes, that was awesome.
That was so funny and true. All these famous siblings I never really knew about.
Mhm.
That was so good.
Bill Clinton's brother. How'd they get him to do a movie?
I don't know, but he was actually pretty funny.
Yeah,
He was awesome.
He was.
Roger Clinton was hilarious. And Stephen
And
Baldwin.
unexpected.
Pretty sure
Stephen
he's like
Baldwin
that.
was great as ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love Stephen Baldwin. I think he's hilarious.
He is very funny. I just liked the stomping. That's
Okay,
not
now that
Alec.
Alec hears you.
Right.
It had a lot of unexpected funny moments like that were more adult humor than kid humor, but not done in a sneaky way. They didn't like slip in a joke that's going to go over a little kid's head, but like Siblings Anonymous is how funny, and how many people would probably enjoy / need that.
Right. I'm sure there are plenty.
Yeah.
I'm the failure of the family.
I need some therapy because my brother's incredibly famous.
Yeah. Exactly. Come on, you did The Usual Suspects, man. What more do you want?
Yeah.
What? It was good. Good part. Yeah. Good job, guys. You did it.
Yeah.
Favorite scenes.
Favorite scenes. All right, who's going first?
I'm gonna jump out there
Okay.
because I think it was Rachel last time, right?
Yeah, it was.
Because you guys keep accusing me of stealing your favorite scenes when I don't go first.
Okay. Well, fair. I don't think. I don't know. I feel like I have a weird one, so I don't think you're gonna choose this one.
Let's hear it.
Have at it.
Mine's the dumb, super sappy one when Fred goes and tells Slam not to be
Damn
mad
it.
at Santa Claus anymore. Really? Damn it. I totally didn't think you guys were gonna choose that one.
Go
I
ahead.
just thought it was like super sappy, and I was like 4 beers in. I like shed a tear, and so I was like, all right, he gets favorite scene.
Late night holiday movies.
Yeah. No, I'll pick something different, but no, I totally agree with you. It was awesome, and then to have the little bit of comedy where he's like, "Here's your wallet back."
Yeah. Oh man, that
It's
was
like
so
first
great.
steps. First
good start.
steps.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, love it.
Yeah, I absolutely love the fact that he came in, gave him what he wanted for Christmas, even though he was on the naughty list. He didn't give him a bat. He gave him the dog that he wanted, but then kind of owned up to, giving him bad advice, basically.
Yeah.
Just look out for yourself. It's all about you from now on, which is like, dude.
Well, and he got to see that bad advice and how it affected him, which I think was a big turnaround in Fred to get him to this point, right? But yeah, it was a really great moment where he is talking to Slam, but he really is talking to himself as well.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Good choice, James.
Well, thank you.
Excellent choice.
I guess I'll go next. Rachel can go last, so she can steal mine.
I was really hoping Rachel would go next, and it was the one you were going to use as backup.
It's gonna be my backup. You go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Rachel.
Let's do it. Let's
Go
put him in
ahead.
the crucible.
Well, mine is definitely the snowball scene.
Okay, not mine.
Yeah.
Also a great scene.
It is.
It was really good. I know that as far as tone, it was very negative, but I liked seeing it. I thought that was one of the fun sort of, not fun, but one of those magical moments where they deal with their sibling rivalry via snowball fight. And it is these magic snowballs, and for just a brief moment, it's like they're kids again. They're siblings without being Santa and Fred.
Yeah.
They get to sort of have this conflict. And honestly, for a minute, they look like they're having fun, but they get to have that separate of their roles. And so I thought that was really good. It was a good scene up until the end where he tries to run him over, which is funny because, Fred grabs onto him with the baseball bat and you still get a bit of comedy. And then the other shoe drops after that.
It's so sad, man.
It is so sad. That was one of the saddest lines in the whole movie. That whole, I never realized you hated me. And while I don't hate you, I just wish you were never born.
Right. I was like,
ouch.
Wow, man.
Yeah. Ooh.
That's like the whole, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. It's just
But on like an existential level.
Yeah, it just hits so much harder.
That's tough.
Yeah.
But so that's mine, because that was another one of those not as traditional holiday movie moments. You don't have that sappy conflict. This is a genuine Like, I'm not even angry at you. I just wish you didn't exist.
Yeah.
Which is maybe a little meaner than you normally see.
I think it is.
No, I think it's like, I love you, but your existence has made my entire life crap.
Right.
That's the way he saw it. I don't think I don't believe that narrative, but
no, but it's not the petty conflict that you usually see in holiday films where they're genuinely angry and there's a lot of friction. Like, I don't even want to fight with you. I just don't want you to be here.
Right. Hit home, man.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not going to ask about that. I'm just going to ask what's your favorite scene, Daniel?
Oh, no, it's not a secret. Well, it's kind of a secret. I just assume everyone feels that way about me.
Oh, I see.
I don't hate you. I just wish you didn't exist.
I don't hate you. I want you to go away.
Jesus. Well, on that suicidal note, Daniel, what's your favorite scene?
So my runner-up scene, I guess, is I just thought it was hilarious, so it has to be the one I choose. But it's when he is out there actually, basically pretending to work for a charity.
Oh man!
And pulls all the money away from, because he's a salesman. He pulls all the money away from the Salvation Army. I almost called them clowns.
Wow.
The Salvation Army Santa Clauses.
I mean, honestly, dude, there's not a huge difference between a clown suit and a Santa suit.
They do a lot of clownery at the Salvation Army. So,
wow.
Oh man. Yes.
Anyway, so yeah, and then they try to charge him up, ask him for his papers. Where's your permit? And he takes off, and he's carrying the bucket at first, but then he just grabs the money and shoves it in his pocket. Until and I don't know why he ran into this store, but he ran into a toy store.
It's poor strategic.
It was, yes.
Yeah.
It was bad strategery. But then proceeds to pick up 2 like wet floor signs. starts beating on the Santa Clauses that are attacking him until he finally gets dogpiled. But I just thought it was hilarious.
It was a great chase / fight scene.
Yeah, it was.
I like the misdirection. Well, there's a cop over there. There's a cop right there. Why don't you go get that cop?
Yeah.
Right.
And he's gone.
Yeah.
I assumed he would have been faster with those long legs, though.
Well, some tall people just aren't coordinated at running. So they have long legs and could make up huge distances, but just kind of run funny, so they don't.
I imagine really tall people run like people on the moon. Where it's just like large
bounding
jumps. Yeah.
I was just thinking, based on the way he dances in this movie, he probably isn't the most coordinated runner.
Fair.
Ow.
Hey, the point's to have fun, and he certainly looked like he had fun.
What Vince Vaughn lacks in talent, he makes up for in enthusiasm.
Right. Yeah, there you go.
At dance, he's a very talented individual.
Oh, yes, I'm into dance.
Yes, no, I did love.
Referring to a sex life or anything.
Oh, wow. And it's weird now. All right.
Well, I think that just about wraps it up for Fred Claus. Anything else you guys got to say?
Please no.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us. Hopefully you enjoyed our coverage. If you did, then please go online and like and subscribe, and make sure to join us next time on Were You Not Entertained?
Facebook leads the industry in stopping bad actors online. That's because they've invested $13 billion in teams and technology to enhance safety over the last 5 years. It's working. In just the past few months, they've taken down 1.7 billion fake accounts to stop bad actors from doing harm. But working to reduce harmful and illicit content on their platforms is never done. Learn more about how they're helping people connect and share safely at about.fb.com/safety.